In my dream, I'm in college. At first, everything is going okay. But then one day I try going to my class, only I can't find it. I walk around the college aimlessly asking people where my class is. Nobody can help me. I end up missing a class. Then before I know it, my college career becomes me wandering the campus just trying to find my class. As I walk around the campus, somehow the campus becomes bigger. I feel like, great, I've loused up my education. I walk around looking into the various classes through the windows on the doors. In one room, I see my kindergarten class. It's like my elementary school merged with my college campus into one big mega school. I smile. I feel at ease. I continue to walk around and look for my college class, but I just can't find it. But no matter which direction I walk onto the campus, it takes me to every other part of the school I don't need to be in. I try exiting the building so I can get a good look at the building from the outside. Perhaps one side of the campus is my elementary school, and the other side is my college. I exit the doors, and I'm in the parking lot. I see a guy standing there, so I ask him, how do I get back to my class? He directs me to one side of the building. So I walk to that part of the building and enter the closest doors. But when I enter in from those doors, somehow I'm back on the wrong side of the college campus again. No matter which direction I walk in, I'm basically exploring all the incorrect areas of the college campus. I simply can't find my class. It's a very frustrating dream because in my dream I know my class is somewhere in that building. But no matter where I turn, no matter which direction I walk in, it's the wrong direction. It almost reminds me of the movie Vivarium. In that movie, the couple cannot leave their new community. They always end up in the same area, which leads them to their home. Only, I keep ending up in the wrong area.
Was it a frustration dream? Sounds like you were too calm for that. Everyone I know has frustration dreams. In those dreams, an experience like yours would create increasing tension until I wake up, tense and breathing hard. They are easy to interpret. The place, date of scene, details are not as important as the fact that regardless of what you try, you cannot accomplish what you want. Mine can always be traced back to difficult details within my waking life, and I have far fewer now that I'm retired from my business career. When they were common, I assumed that they were the old sub's way of telling me that I needed organization and focus in my waking life. I'd often make a list of the possible causes of frustration and a plan for addressing them. Now, if it's not a typical frustration dream, if it wasn't creating tension and anxiety inside your dream mind, then it might simply be a hint that you feel unfulfilled by your education. I suspect that each of the folks from whom you asked directions were representatives of former contacts during those times. Friends, teachers, etc. They could not help in the dream. Perhaps they did not help then. In this case, the old sub is telling you that you gotta do it on your own, which you already knew. But perhaps a reminder is okay, too. The detail about always returning to the same physical point sounds important. Trying all these things, asking all of these walks, walking around and searching, always returning magically to the same point. And it lasted from grade school to college. Interesting. Good luck.
The dream school is the school that we all attend. It is the school of life. The grade level and the performance of the dreamer is an indication of the psychological, spiritual development of the dreamer. The dream is like a report card. It tells the dreamer how he is progressing. The dreamer is having problems with his school. There is a man in the dream who seems to be, at least, partially responsible for the dreamer's problems. So, who is this man? Using the theories of Carl Jung, he is almost certainly an archetype from the collective unconscious called the shadow. A little background info: in Jungian psychology, the psyche is composed on the consciousness and the unconscious. The consciousness consists of those things and that we know. For example, I know that I am sitting at a computer. The unconscious consists of the personal unconscious and the collective unconscious. Personal unconscious contains those things that we used to know but have since forgotten. For example, I used to know the names of my high school history teachers. The ego is the center of the personal unconscious. The collective unconscious contains those things that we never knew. These are archetypes, which are kind of like universal images. Archetypes can be all sorts of people, animals, plants, objects, and even events or actions. Although we can never have a complete understanding of an archetype, we can still know some things about it. Archetype. One of the most common archetypes is the shadow. The shadow is always the same sex as the dreamer but often shows a side of the dreamer that is repressed. Although the shadow usually appears as a negative person, it can, instead, be a positive shadow. For example, several years ago, a man had a dream about a man who had a more spiritual personality. Sometimes the shadow will appear as someone who is violent and dangerous, while another person's shadow may be someone who is just slightly obnoxious or is somehow different from the dreamer. Back to the dream. The other man in this dream is probably the dreamer's shadow, while the appearance of the dreamer is the dreamer's ego. Although there seems to be something that is unfavorably impacting the dreamer spiritually and/or psychologically, there are also some positive things about this dream. Specifically, he is in college, which is an indication of his development, and he is trying to understand the meaning of his dreams. In order to help the dreamer, he needs to help his shadow. How does he do this? He has already taken a big step. He is trying to understand his dreams. Another good practice is not think of the shadow as merely being some manifestation of the collective unconscious, but as a real person. He is a person who does not want to be the dreamer's enemy, but instead want to help the dreamer. The dreamer can help both himself and his shadow by trying to understand what the shadow is telling him. As the dreamer does this, more helpful dreams will start to appear. Additionally, we know that our dreams can change dramatically from night to night. Thus, changes in us can be quickly reflected by changes in our dreams.